Oh, yes. Oh, number 6739. Oh, brilliant. I'll write that down in my Ian Allan book. 1 second. Right, what page? There we go. That's it. It's recorded forever. Right, I'll just wait here a bit longer and wait for another locomotive.
Hello, Tom here, and welcome back to Tom's Modelling Corner. Let's start this again. It's been a long time since I made an O-Gauge modelling video. If you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you'll know that my O-Gauge adventures had never ended. Yes, I know a lot of you have asked for longer videos again. I'm very sorry for the long absence. It's not something that I intended to happen deliberately, it just happened. One contributing factor to this was my personal life in recent years got really busy. Another one being is that I'm a huge perfectionist when it comes to my work. That's why there's a lot of episodes that were filmed and not finished because 1. I wasn't happy with the writing, and 2. I couldn't decide on the format. Overall, I just couldn't decide how I wanted these to go, and so all the footage got piled up instead. That includes the contributions from voice actors and visual effects artists. Like I said, this is something I didn't intend on happening. I'm very sorry to all of you who have been waiting so patiently for a new video. It's obvious I spend more time overthinking my ideas rather than actually getting it done. This is something I would like to talk about more in a future video. I want to work on these O-Gauge videos again because this is my main interest. It's what I set out to do originally. I'm going to do my best to make them as often as I can, and of course my YouTube and Instagram reels because I've really enjoyed making those as well, and I'm so grateful to all of you who continue to like and comment on them. So today I'm going to attempt a comeback by talking about my O-Gauge haul from last year's flash sale at Rails of Sheffield. In the middle of April, Rails announced they were cutting the prices back on 2 of the Dapple O-Gauge tank engines by an incredible amount. The first listed was the A1 Terrier in the beautiful SCCR green livery. It was released in 2018 and normally retails at £250. The sale reduced it by 46%, making it £135 instead. The second model was the 3F Jinty in the NCC black livery. This is one of Dapple's most recent re-releases of the class, again retailing at £250, reduced to £125, 50% off the original price and £10 less than the Terrier. For brand new O-Gauge models, this was a very generous offer. Sadly, I wasn't able to afford both of them, and annoyingly they were both the liveries I would have picked. It was a tough decision, but I had to act fast as I was very sure they would sell out quickly. And as you can see, both models have now completely sold out on Rails' website. So, which one did I end up buying? That's right, I went for the Jinty, despite already having 3. I've always wanted to see how the re-release compares with the previous models. Although Dapple have never mentioned any new tooling, I couldn't help but wonder if there was anything different about the newer ones, so let's find out. The one thing I have noticed is that the box is a slightly lighter shade of blue compared to the others. I'm not sure if that's the colour Dapple uses now, or if it's even a printing failure, but I rather like it. Also, I don't have to look at the labels when I want to use it. Opening up the box, we can see the model is placed inside a hard foam casing, cut to fit around the engine precisely, and it comes with a plastic sheet to pull it out with. Pretty much the same as the previous 3Fs. I did wonder if Dapple were going to update the casing where you have to unscrew it from underneath, but no. The Jinty's re-release have stuck with the old design. Let's get the engine out and take an even closer look at this beautiful Ulster Transport Authority livery. Yes, it's another black livery as the Jintys weren't painted that many colours, but the majority of them weren't lined either, or even have red coupling rods. So what's the story behind Henry Fowler's creation being painted this way? During the Second World War, Belfast found they were very short on shunting locomotives. So 2 Jintys were re-gauged and transferred to the LMS North Counties Committee in Northern Ireland. These Jintys were renumbered 18 and 19, which is the one I have here, and worked around Belfast York Road Station as well as the dockside lines. To begin with, they would have been painted plain black with the NCC initials on the tanks. Both engines were passed to the Ulster Transport Authority in 1948. The NCC was removed and replaced with the UTA coat of arms, and was also given maroon and yellow stripes. The number plate appears to have stayed the same. Sadly, neither of the two Jintys were preserved. This model works on standard O-gauge track, so it doesn't completely replicate the broader gauge Jintys. This is simply a reskit. When my friend Mike saw this for the first time, he jokingly said, "It looks good, but will it fit on our O-gauge layouts?" Well, I can safely say it does. Placing my British Railways Jinty next to it, you can see straight away there's quite a lot of similarities, such as the overall size and shape, sprung metal buffers, a die-cast chassis block and footplate, and KISS. Sorry Dave. There is some detailing on the chassis block, such as the inside workings, but unlike the Dapple pannier where it's animated, these ones are just for display. Some detailing has been left out for authenticity. For instance, my BR Jinty has a number plate and the plaque for a shed number on the smokebox door. This is the unnumbered version, hence why it's been left blank. And as you can see, of course, the Irish Jinty has none of these. It's also missing the coal bunker railings. Now the vacuum pipes are included with this model. These come unattached so you can put them on yourself, but I've read somewhere that both Irish Jintys had theirs removed because they failed their passenger test run. So again, for authenticity, I'm going to leave these off for now. And that's the model. So as we can see, number 19 is no more than just a repeat. Nearly a complete mirror opposite to the previous incarnations. The only thing new I could find was the paper the instructions are printed on. But I'm not going to get into that. I know a lot of you don't care about the fact this is printed on white standard paper, and it's probably not as good as the coated one that Dapple normally use because, you know, once it gets wet then the ink will smudge and it's gone forever. And but anyway, I've wanted this version for some time now, so I'm very grateful to Rails of Sheffield for reducing it. The only thing I wasn't so grateful for was, a few days later, another O-gauge sale popped up. There was yet another Dapple Jinty and Terrier, both sporting different liveries, and both reduced to 35 and 45% of their original price. Suddenly, more sale adverts from Rails of Sheffield's website were popping up, specifically for O-gauge. It was so annoying because I hadn't yet recovered from the first purchase. And then it got more brutal, for even the most expensive models from Helgen were for sale. For example, the Class 58, one of my most favourite diesel locomotives, reduced to 50% off. The urge to give up my car and eat nothing but baked beans for a year was so big, but I resisted, and I reluctantly decided that the Jinty was good enough for now. That was until I saw the reduction of Dapple's O-gauge Vanwides. First introduced in 2022 and normally retailing at £50 a wagon, these have been reduced to £30. Not the era I usually go for, but because I've heard so many great things about them, it would also be a shame to miss this opportunity, so I decided to purchase one. Rails has definitely got me hooked now. I also bought this ex-Southern Railways Pillbox Brakevan for £39.99. I have seen this been reduced to the same price in other shops. I have needed a Brakevan for some time, so I gave Rails of Sheffield some more money, and they both arrived a few days later. Now I already have a few ready to run wagons in O-gauge, so I was quite surprised to see how the box didn't have any preview windows or blueprint drawings. The only obvious way you can tell what's in the box is by the label. The Brakevan is pretty simple, but as for the Vanwide, yeah, it's quite a long title. I feel very sorry for the guys in the stock rooms who have to match up the orders. As for the box itself, I really like this. It's very small, compact, it's very neat. I kind of wish all the boxes were like this. I went to Hampshire Models in Basingstoke recently and I love the way they were stacked on the shelves. I'd love that sort of thing in my workshop. The model is kept inside a plastic packaging surrounded by foam. To release it, you simply pull up the top and then unwrap it. Ah! Yeah, the roof comes off. That was the first time I realised this. Very handy to know. There's quite a few things you could do with that actually. But anyway, back on topic. Here's the Vanwide. In the early 1960s, BR created a van with two sliding plug doors. This helped to make the wagon more accessible in confined spaces. The 9-foot door space gave forklift operators more room to place palletised loads. The ability to do this gave the wagon its nickname the Vanwide. A total of 2,000 were built between 1961 and 1962. In 1977, the vans were refurbished and fitted with air brakes to suit the customers who couldn't handle the new modern wagons with longer wheelbases. These were known as VEA vans. Sadly, all Vanwides had been withdrawn by the early 1990s. So the body shell is mostly constructed of plastic with metal parts. The door handles and handrails have been applied separately. There are sprung buffers, screw-link couplings. My favourite part is the underframes. So the chassis itself is die-cast, but it has separately applied detailing made possibly from bits of plastic and metal rodding. With the brake rodding and levers separately applied, I'm really intrigued to see how all of this is put together in the factory. Here's a parkside kit I made a few years ago of a Banana Nana van. I think the underframe took at least 2 or 3 days to do. I'd love to know how long it takes Dapple to assemble this in their factory. The wheel suspension is quite interesting. On one side, 2 W-irons are connected together and they're both supported by this lever. So as one wheel goes up, the other goes down. A bit like a seesaw. Well, no, exactly like a seesaw. Well, now we know the roof comes off, we might as well take a look inside. Oh. Okay, how did that even happen? On a serious note, this could be quite handy. You could put some added weight into the van if you wanted to. You could store a mini camera inside to get a train's eye view of your layout, or you can simply just use it to store things. Now let's take a closer look at the Pillbox. By this I mean the Brakevan, not my actual... Well, anyway. First constructed during the 1930s for the southern region, the nickname Pillbox was given from railwaymen due to its appearance. The hut looked to be a more conventional length for a brakevan at that time, but it had a much longer wheelbase. This made the van heavier, which helped to give it a more efficient handbraking system. The right hand side ducats were a way for the guard to maintain oil lamp based signals from inside the safety of his own van. This was to ensure the driver, station personnel and signalmen that the train was operating safely. Dapple brought out this style brakevan in 2014. I've gone for the British Railways light grey as a majority of my stock is BR, which of course is an amalgamation of engines from different regions, so I thought this ex-Southern van would mix in with my collection quite well. Like I've said, I've needed a brakevan for some time. Remember the brakevan from the Lima 4F episode? Yeah, it's missing its wheels. On a serious note, this has actually been stripped down, and I plan to refurbish it sometime soon. And that's my haul from Rails of Sheffield. Very pleased with my choices. Put together, they make up their own little train set. This reminds me so much of the old Hornby and Lima train sets where the engine doesn't historically match up with the rolling stock. But as I said, I'm very pleased. All 3 were very good value for money. But how much did I save with help from the flash sale? Well, the Jinty normally costs around £250. The Vanwide is usually £50, which I think even that is generous. And the Brakevan is harshly priced at £80. So this lot altogether would have cost me a whopping £380. It's very steep, especially when you can buy 4 suburban coaches at Dapple's website for £400 if they have a sale on. Thanks to Rails of Sheffield, I ended up paying £194, saving £185. So I was able to get all 3 for £56 less than the Jinty. And now I think it's time I gave all 3 a test run. Somewhere with lots of track. How about the Kilnline? An enchanting place where adventure is only a DCC whistle away. This fictitious preserve line is based on the Great Western Railway. There's an engine shed, a station, a passing loop, a tunnel, cuttings. There's even a manor house with its own N-gauge miniature railway. Things happening all the time. It's a safe haven for anything O-gauge. There's CB Models products everywhere. Every cloud has a silver lining. That's where we need to go. Well, at least it was. The track's gone. Yeah, Rob's downgraded since then. He's sold all the O-gauge and gone to NG7, which means now I can't film my demonstration. Well, it was too far away anyway, so... Oh well. So again, I'm going to get out my O-gauge Rivarossi Track. That's a really hard word to pronounce when you have a stammer, but these 1960s Italian track packs have helped to make the perfect demonstration loop. Now, before I go any further, I just want to correct something that I got wrong in the last 2 videos. Previously, I said Rivarossi was bought out by Lima. It's the other way round. It was actually Lima that was bought out by Rivarossi. If that's not how you pronounce it, I'll be so annoyed. It might not seem like a big deal, but when you're trying to relay facts and you've made that mistake twice, yeah, I was quite annoyed at myself. It's very important to me that I get the facts right, so if my videos have misled you, I'm very sorry. Now back to the layout. Overall, this layout is built up of 22 pieces of track, 10 straights and 12 curves. The length of it measures out at roughly 370 centimeters, making it under 4 meters long, and a radius curve of 160 centimeters, just over 5 feet wide. According to the Hatton's database, which is now thankfully owned by Rails of Sheffield, the minimum radius for an O-gauge Jinty is 3 feet wide. so going around this loop should be okay. As for the Brakevan, well, the website just says minimum radius 1. And because there isn't a guideline for O-gauge radiuses, this isn't helpful to anyone. With the Brakevan's much longer wheelbase, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And who's going to do that as well as drive the train? But my glamorous assistant, Pinky Fingers. Yay, there she is. She's just about to couple up the train for me. Great coupling skills from Pinky Fingers, she did it all on her first go. All the train needs now is a driver and fireman. Because I don't have any figurines in the UTA uniform, I've gone for the most Irish looking locomotive crew I had. So here we have our 3 hero men from Oh Mr. Porter. We have Albert Brown as the driver, Jeremiah Harbottle as the fireman, and William Porter as the guard. I know, I'm scared too, but I want to give these guys a chance to redeem themselves, especially after what happened last time. Oh, you didn't know? Well, what happens is they get this train and...
don't spoil it. If they want to know what happens, they can go and watch the film themselves.
Oh, yes, you're quite right, sorry.
Just stop narrating, this train's got places to go.
Yes, you're right. Okay, right away, Pinky.
Here, wait a minute. You can't tell her when to go. I'm the station master here. We haven't even got the passengers on board yet. All aboard who's coming aboard. Buckles, Kelly.
What passengers? It's a goods train.
I still have to go through my script, and the train will leave when I say it does. I was sent here to take charge and look after everybody.
Right away, Pinky.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? I didn't say you could go.
Oh,
Stop right
shut
now.
up and get a
I'm gonna
proper
give you
hat.
what for when I get my hands on you. Look, Murphy's got some new pigs.
Don't start that again. Well, it looked good, but how about adding some more trucks? We might as well, just to demonstrate the Jintys' haulage capacity. So Pinky Fingers is going to couple up some ready-to-run wagons, and 2 built by me. This is one thing I don't like about the bigger scales, the fact it takes half a day to couple up the train. I'm joking, it takes a month, so I'm glad Pinky Fingers is doing it. She makes it look so easy. But then you get some trucks that refuse to cooperate. And here's the lineup, very nicely done indeed.
It's nice to see things running smoothly for a change. Hey, steady on! You nearly threw me off the train! Hang on, what happened there? Something's fallen off. Oh, never mind, let's keep going. It sounded quite heavy. Oh, well, I'm sure whatever it is, we can get another one. Well, come on, full steam ahead. We can't stay here all day. Heavy indeed. I'm sure it couldn't have been that important. Oh, that's funny, we're still not moving here. Oh, wait a minute! Stop! Come back! Don't let it get away! Are they going to run the train without the brake van?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
What? Yeah, and so was I. What are you two doing here?
Looking for that missing bit.
Wait a minute, if you're here, who's driving the engine? Nobody. And if you're there, who's firing the engine? Nobody. Exactly my point. Who's in control of the train? Nobody.
Well, that was a very costly repair. Not very happy with these morons, but at least the Jinty's fine again. No, I'm kidding, it was all made up. What are my thoughts on Dapple's rerun of the Jintys? I'm mixed about it. It's good to see Dapple make another batch of the 3F Jintys, and I'm glad they attempted what looks like a very complicated livery to tampo print, while the rest are just in their regular, boring, plain black liveries. No offence. Dapple have done a phenomenal job at printing number 19. I've always liked how continental liveries look on British locomotives. A bit disappointed there wasn't really anything new to look at, despite knowing there wasn't going to be any new tooling. I do think there was an opportunity to give it animated inside workings, pretty much like they do for the Pannier and the upcoming Hunslet austerities. I also think you'd see them a lot more clearly from above compared to the other two. I think it's a shame they don't include this in all of their O-gauge models. It's a really well thought out feature which to me makes the company stand out compared to the others. As for the price, Dapple's Jinty normally retails at around £200 and £250. Personally, I think that's a bit steep considering the fact it's the same price as Dapple's Pannier, which has clearly had more work done to it. For that amount of money, I think they could have at least updated the box. Performance-wise, nothing really new to add. It runs pretty much the same as my other Jintys, but very smooth and a fairly quiet runner. The glowing firebox is also a very nice feature. I'm really glad Dapple have kept that in. So as expected, the rerun really is just a rerun. I think I was hoping there would be a slight change in something, but no, it's all the same. Apart from the livery, yeah, it's the same. But not disappointed. I'm always very happy to add another Jinty to my collection, and number 19 fits in quite well with the other Irish-themed items I have. The VEA van was also a perfect runner. It stayed on the tracks. What didn't stay on the tracks, however, was actually the SR Pillbox. The Brakevan derailed every time it went round the bend. I didn't put this in the video because it was literally every time it ran around the bend, and I thought it would get too annoying, to the point I was tempted to carry on filming without it. So I think we can safely say that in O-gauge terms, minimum radius 1 is not 5 feet wide. It's quite possibly 6 feet or 7 feet, or well, you know what I mean. However, I did take a closer look at the van suspension. I noticed that all the axle boxes move up and down, apart from this fourth one. It's fixed onto the chassis and nothing I did was able to loosen it. So my question to you is it meant to be like that, or is this a factory mistake? But hang on a minute! We weren't using the brake van, so how come our train derailed? Yeah, well, there was something else I cut from this video. Despite being able to go around a 3-foot curve, the Jinty also derailed a couple of times during filming. And I think it's to do with the track. I've had it for some time now, and I think it's getting on a bit. The plastic is slightly warped, so it doesn't always lay down flat, and some tracks don't connect, sadly, so there's a gap between the fish plates. I've noticed that rolling stock with a particular wheel spacing tend to come off at certain points, and if there's not enough distance between each wagon, then that too is derailing.
So that's why the train crashed. And you based a story around it to make us look like irresponsible idiots?
Yeah, basically.
Well, that's a nice state of affair.
Well, it was a bit of fun, wasn't it? You guys got to star in your own story again. It's about time, really. Tell you what, to make up for it, I'm going to give you the NCC Jinty.
Oh, finally, a new engine! I shall call him Gladstone 2.
Please don't wreck this one as well. And I think that's it for this video. I've had fun filming this and it's been nice to make a comeback. A big thank you to Rails of Sheffield for reducing their models. I've got some highly detailed models which I wouldn't have been able to afford if they were regular price. I've seen quite a few people from X and Instagram who've also benefited from this, and now they're starting their O-gauge journeys. A big shout out to my girlfriend Pinky Fingers who helped me film this. Thank you for always being so patient, and I hope you had fun. And to my subscribers, thank you for your patience. Thank you so much to those who've asked for a new video. I'm going to do my best to make these videos on a regular basis, as well as doing my YouTube shorts. In the meantime, why don't you check out my friend Rob's channel? He started off making O-Gauge review videos, he's now dived into NG7, he's got quite a lot of videos under his belt talking about Dapple, Lionheart, Bachmann, the lot. These videos are always very nicely presented and very engaging too. My favourite part is always the demonstration. I do enjoy watching the trains go around his layouts. In a way, he's kind of living my O-Gauge dream. So please pay Rob's channel a visit and tell him I sent you. And if you want to see some more Jintys, or rather Jinty, then why not visit my friend Ben's channel? Benton Builds is a phenomenal 3D sculptor, an artist and railway modeller who also happens to make some cracking videos too. One of my favourites is his video entitled The 3 Jintys. Ben gives a thorough step-by-step process on how he builds his Jintys. If I'm being honest, I'm glad it's not just me with a Jinty problem. Very nicely narrated. There's quite a few gags in there as well, which is always great. What's amazing about Ben is that when you think you've seen it all, you're guaranteed to be blown away by something else he's made. Ben's also a content creator on Minecraft. As a Minecraft player myself, I can really appreciate the amount of work Ben's put into this. So yeah, Benton Builds. Give him a follow. Oh, and if you want to see more from Oh Mr. Porter, then why not head down to the Great Central Railway this weekend for the Will Hay Day. It's an event set up by Tom Marshall of the Will Hayes Appreciation Society, where enthusiasts of the late great comedian can meet up and celebrate his life and his films. It's also a good excuse for anyone to dress up as his famous characters, for the Quorn and Woodhouse station will be redecorated to look like Buggles Kelly Station. It looks amazing, and of course enormous fun too. I'm very sad I can't make it this year, but I wish Tom and his team all the best. To find out more, go and check out the Great Central Railway's website, and of course buggleskellystation.com. Before I wrap this up, I'm going to dedicate this video to the memory of my late Gramps, who sadly passed away of cancer in 2021. He was always very encouraging of my interest in trains, and I think he was the only one in my family who was just as fanatic about them as I was. Funnily enough, it was actually him that first introduced me to Oh Mr. Porter. One of the really cool things that Gramps used to do was he would record railway documentaries off the telly and put them onto a VHS for me, and he just about managed to capture the first few minutes of Oh Mr. Porter. The tape ends when you see Silver Link, and I remember thinking at the time, I bet that's a good film. Hopefully I'll see you again someday, Gramps. Thank you for all the memories.
Here's a signal. Hold tight. That's funny how that happened.
Do you know he sent those trucks?
Yeah, down there.
Again? No, not this time.